is quadratic equation, parabolas, and other graph exam practice question 15. Sketch the graph of the following. So the first thing that we think about is our standard form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c. Now we know when our x is 0, we are only left with c. So that tells me it is the y-intercept. So if we think about that, I can see that our c is 8. That means that our y-intercept is 8. The next thing I look at is trying to get it into a factorized form. If I get it in factorized form, I can see what my x-intercepts are. So the first thing I'm going to think about here is what two numbers can I times together to equal c? So I can do 2 times 4 equals 8, but I need it to add up to -6, which means I will make them both negatives. So that gives me my factorized form of x minus 2 in brackets, x minus 4 in brackets. Now, based on what we've just done, we can then go the next step further. Now, for our x-intercepts, we need y to be 0. So that means each bracket must equal 0. That means x minus 2 must equal 0, and x minus 4 must equal 0. So that leaves me with x over here must having to be 2 for that to be 0, and x here must equaling 4. So now we've got those, I've got an extra 2 points. I know that I've got x is 2 and x is 4. Okay, so we've got our 3 intercepts. If I would like to get it into turning point form, the first thing I'm going to think about is what is half of b? So half of b is 3. So technically I need -3 plus -3 to equal -6. So when I'm rewriting my equation, I'm going to think about how to get it into that perfect squared form. So to do that, I'm going to think about that I am adding -3 squared and I am minusing -3 squared. If I do that, I am simply cancelling everything out. So the next thing I'm going to think about is this part right here. So that means if I factorize that, it is going to be x minus 3 in brackets squared. And I'm left out on the outside here. I'm left with take away -3 squared. Well, -3 squared is -3 times -3, which is 9. So still take away 9 plus 8. If we go one step further and we finally finish that last part off, we are given -9 plus 8 equals -1. So that also now tells me my turning point. So my turning point, x must be 3 for my x minus 3 to be 0. So x must be 3, which is in the middle of these two intercepts. And y is -1. And now that gives me my turning point form. So we've got our x-intercept, turning point, and also our y-intercept, and now I'm able to draw my graph.